Welcome to Sound Advice. Over the last 13 years, I've had the honor and privilege of working with over 1,400 bands, and very few of them are like this band, Making April. This is a bunch of young guys who got together and through focus and the internet managed to begin to sell over 1,000 tracks a week using iTunes. This led them to a record deal and to an incredible journey. Check out this segment called The War Room. So, Laguna Beach hits. You guys are up and available on MySpace, and it blows up.
Yeah, our MySpace went from about 1,000 plays a day to about 18,000 or so. We rose to be like maybe the top 20 or top 30.
So what were you guys doing? My article talks a lot about what you guys were doing, but I'd love for you to kind of
I guess
walk us
prior to
through.
that, I mean, after we'd done the Facebook messaging, we had just started friend adding nonstop on MySpace. This is that entire year. We were getting out 400 maximum per day. And
how did you do that? Did you divide it up and each of you said, okay?
I remember one night, I was at SUNY Albany, just bored, it was freezing. I did not like that school whatsoever, so I remember one night we would just, me and my friend, I think you might have come with us, we just went to the computer lab and just started adding friends, just like, I don't know, it's just like a night at the computer lab, just adding friends, talking, hanging out, because we had nothing else to do, so. And we were all gung-ho about it, getting our songs out there.
Yeah, so we would sit there just every night, and that's when we came up with this idea at first, where we wanted to have some type of room where we would all go to every day and do this, because we were scattered between 3 houses, and we're all out of school now. It was that summer after school, and it wouldn't, like, it was hard to get motivated when, like, there's only one of you and you're sitting there friend adding.
Right.
And so we'd always dreamed of this thing called the War Room. And I'm gonna get ahead of myself here for a second, but I guess it was about 6 months later we finally were able to create this War Room. And it was at his dad's house where he built us just this long desk along the wall, and we had 4 computers all along there. We'd go there every day and just friend requests, reply to every comment, every message, everything. And you could just see our iTunes number had a direct effect. It just, our iTunes went right up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before iTunes, we didn't, like, we weren't on iTunes for a long time, and we were just selling through SmartPhone, and we had no clue how huge iTunes was. It's
We
like,
had no idea. We were just like,
sales
get
are
on there.
insane compared to being an independent band trying to physically distribute through mail or smartphone. Like, if you're not in stores and you're just selling online, I mean, you're not selling as much as you possibly can if you're not on iTunes.
Right, right.
And another major aspect of that was, if you're selling from your own online store or some of these others, they don't report the SoundScan. So all along, you could sell 10,000 of things, and no one would know about it, no one would care.
Right.
But that's why actually our first 2 months of sales on iTunes, we hadn't registered our barcode with SoundScan. And so we lost out on 2 months of album sales, which were our biggest 2 months ever. But after that, we were like, all right, SoundScan is everything, because when they're looking to get on tours or basically trying to do anything, you send them your scans and they're like, oh wow, I had no idea this band sold this much in this market.
For those of you who are unfamiliar with what SoundScan is, SoundScan is a company that actually tracks what is getting sold and how using a barcode, just like in the supermarket. So if any of you are not registered with SoundScan, CD Baby can sign you up, but definitely before you put anything up onto iTunes, like they're saying, make sure that you're registered with SoundScan. You started the War Room, you began to have momentum. How long did it take you to get an actual technique down? I mean, I'm sure you tried a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, tried a lot of things.
Yeah.
I guess it was mainly figuring out how far you could go on each one of these social networking sites before they give you a warning or delete you. Or you would really push the limits.
Try it until you get stopped.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to push the limits to figure it out.
Right.
No one really knows until like it became very public knowledge about what MySpace can do. But Facebook, we kept coming up, trying to come up with different schemes, I guess you could say, on these new social networking sites that didn't have caps yet, didn't have limits, and we tried to go to these different ones until they did. We didn't have a lot of success with that. So we just came down to the point where, all right, we're going to go here every day, we're going to divvy up how many friend requests get out, and we're going to then, I guess, like practice in the War Room, write some songs. Sean and Steve are primarily songwriters, and maybe I'd be sitting there doing, I guess, the management aspect, where they were actually writing the songs, where if your songs aren't good, they're not going to sell anything regardless of what you do. So we had to put a lot of time into that. And as much as we want to sit there just always pushing to new people, it's like you got to take a step back every now and again and say, all right, is this song even good?
Very good point.
We were doing a bunch of random things. I don't know if we can say exactly what we were doing every day, but like we were just trying to like book tours and just like get back to people.
Yeah, the main thing was
there always
just
seemed to be a
keeping
bunch of
in
stuff.
So the basic foundation of what you were doing was obviously creating relationships, building relationships, being in
Definitely.
communication with people.
And it's all almost fake, it's all over the internet. We hadn't toured yet.
Right.
So we had only played, I guess, 2 or 3 shows at that point, just around town. And these fans actually turned out that we just kept in touch with them. Just all of a sudden we'd meet them at shows and be like, wow. We'd actually recognize them before they recognized us. If they looked like their MySpace picture, we'd just be like, hey, don't I know you?
That's awesome. So as you can see, 3 guys, 3 computers, and a lot of time and focus on just a few social networking sites combined with iTunes began to make an enormous impact for making April. The lesson I love here is that they also remembered to stay focused on their music and their writing and honing their craft as musicians. And that's an important lesson to get. Always be working on your music while you're also focused on your sales and marketing.